Good morning and welcome to this Sunday morning meditation time with the Dhamma Dharini. My idea for this week is something about knowing different types of meditation or different themes of contemplation that can be used to overcome the particular difficulties or shortcomings that a person might have at this time. In the sutta that we're going to be looking at this afternoon, the Buddha's son, Rahula, was a new monk, still a teenager, possibly 18 or 19 years old. And Rahula was said to still suffer from conceit. He was so proud to be the son of his father. This is a good sutta for Father's Day, isn't it? While they were going on the alms round, Rahula was thinking, my father is so beautiful, so handsome, and feeling pride and conceit about that. And then related to that, Sariputta and also the Buddha gave him several different themes of meditation to use to overcome his immaturity and his shortcomings at that time. My idea for this morning is that in order to be skillful in choosing the meditation that's going to be beneficial to us, we need to know where we are at. What is our state of mind? Is our mind affected by greed, affected by aversion, affected by delusions? Or is the mind free of those things? Is the mind expansive, or is it contracted and sunken? Has the mind obtained the goal yet? Or is the mind still short of the goal for which we are following this path? So I'm thinking of offering a guided meditation in terms of using the 5 aggregates as a way of understanding the state of mind. What's up with the body at any particular moment in time? Is the body tense or relaxed, painful, or is the body tranquil and pleasant? These qualities of the body are directly in relationship to the qualities of the mind. What kind of feelings are present? Is the feeling strongly pleasant, strongly unpleasant, sort of neutral? Or is the feeling very extremely equanimous and even? And those feelings can be connected to other parts of the mind. Like there can be a strongly pleasant feeling connected with daydreaming about sensual pleasures. Or there can be a strongly pleasant feeling associated with obtaining concentration in meditation, where the mind is free from um, the hindrances and able to enter fully into meditation. Or a strongly pleasant feeling that's connected with the thought of loving kindness, or a strongly pleasant feeling that's connected with having some insight, some understanding. So the feeling itself is not intelligent enough to tell you whether you're going the right way or not going the right way. But understanding feeling can help you greatly to guide the meditation practice. So if there's a skillful, pleasant feeling, and you know that it's skillful, that feeling can help you to keep going. So you can entertain and welcome that feeling because it's helping you to sustain your meditation and to sustain your practice. But then if there's an unskillful, pleasant feeling, then you want to acknowledge it, but you don't want to feed into that feeling, which is connected to some kind of unskillful thoughts. Instead, you just want to basically not be feeding those thoughts and allowing that feeling to pass away by itself. Any one of the three feelings can be connected to something either skillful or unskillful. And so that's part of doing this sort of like self-assessment to see what's going on with me. What's my state of mind right now? The perception is one of the factors of the five aggregates. And the main thing to distinguish about perceptions is that, first of all, perceptions are a kind of a fabrication of the mind. So we don't give them too much weight because we know it's just something that the mind is creating. But then we can try to estimate, is that perception more truthful? Or is the perception more confused or deluded or untrue? So when a perception comes along, it's very helpful, just even in the meditation, while you're trying to settle down and figure out what's going on with inside, what's the state of mind. If perceptions are coming up and you can know those perceptions are biased, recognizing that within the calmness of meditation, that self-examination can be so powerful in evaporating those biased perceptions. As soon as you recognize that it's biased or not really true, then it evaporates. But if you recognize that something, that you've got a perception which is closer towards the truth, which is pointing towards the truth, towards reality as it really is, then you may feel glad and comfortable and continue like that. Then the fourth of the aggregates is the what's called formations, or you could call it fabrications, or you could call it intentions. And again, one can notice in the mind, are these intentions coming up very strongly? For example, if there's some unresolved issue that got you activated before you sat down for meditation, and then there's some tension in the body because you're activated, and there's some unpleasant feeling related to that, and in connection to what's happening with the body and what's happening with the feeling, then some perception could come along, which might be not the kind of perception that leads to peace, but instead the kind of perception that leads to being more and more activated. So the one that I always use as my example is that so-and-so is always doing that to me, by way of some kind of, complaint about a person or a situation. And then if a thought comes up, and with it is like this restlessness of needing or wanting to do something about it, something that's almost making you want to jump out the cushion and go, like I've heard stories. Somebody has a memory of um, something that happened like in a relationship, and they get this feeling, oh, I know that I ought to apologize about that. Let me jump up from my cushion and go and write a letter of apology and send a card to that person. Um, because the insight into that interpersonal situation that's causing some kind of a unbalance or something, it's very, this is the power of the mind. When we get a clear perception of what something is, part of having a clear perception is that one knows what to do about it. So if I'm feeling like the body is like sort of uncomfortable, but I'm not quite sure exactly what it is, and then I get finally I get the perception, oh, it's a migraine. Then when I recognize, oh, it's a migraine, then I know I better take my medicine. See, so that recognition is like a catalyst for creating an intention to do something. But while we are practicing meditation, the one intention that's skillful, or what we're trying to stay on in the meditation, is just the intention for clear awareness. Only the intention to pay attention. Only the intention to be mindful. Only the intention, like in the case of some meditations, to bring out a certain kind of thought, like, may all beings be happy and secure. Or bring out a thought like, whatever we experience, bring up the thought, this is not me, this is not mine, this is not myself. So there's a very narrow spectrum of intentions, which is really matching for what's happening within the meditation. But if these other kinds of intentions keep coming up, then that's an opportunity for mindfulness and for awareness, an opportunity to see clearly these intentions are coming up. And they're coming up because of the state of mind. And so then when you know that, you will know what to do about it. And within the meditation, it could be, for example, if some kind of intention is coming up and we can see it clearly, and we can see that that intention is related to aversion, then we could decide, oh, let me bring in loving kindness right there and practice loving kindness until the aversion has been flooded out and replaced by loving kindness. So that's the way that with these five kindness, you're able to understand your state of mind in order to understand what kind of meditation is going to help you. The last one of the five aggregates is called vijnana, or the knowing faculty. In the context of the five khandhas, the knowing faculty is very close to awareness itself. So the vijnana knows the body. The vijnana knows the feeling. The vijnana knows the perception. The vijnana knows the intentions or the thoughts that are coming up. The vijnana knows them as they arise, knows them as they exist, and knows them as they disappear. Vijnana has different meanings in different situations, but in this case, I'm suggesting for the purpose of evaluating our meditation and knowing what kind of practice we need, I'm suggesting how is our awareness? Is it bright and clear and sharp and really seeing things? Or is our awareness dull and confused and distracted and not really seeing? Are we just falling into being like an automaton, automatically sitting and breathing automatically, and the mind is not aware? You don't really know what's going on because you're not actually paying attention. You don't have that activation of the knowing faculty. So I've given a lot of instruction. Now let's sit for meditation. Welcome to come to an upright and balanced posture. Noticing the physical body, how the body is arranged, sitting on the cushion or the floor, how the hands are placed, how the back is placed. How the head is balanced at the top of the spine. How the eyes are opened or closed. Using the time, whatever's needed, to settle the body into a good posture. Make any small adjustments you need to make the body stable and comfortable as possible. Noticing sensations on the head and relaxing the head. Sensations in the face and relaxing the face. Whatever is tight or tense or jumpy, let it be relaxed. Aware of the neck and shoulders, relaxing. Aware of the arms, relaxing. Aware of the hands, relaxing. Relaxing the front of the body. Letting the heart be calm. Letting the stomach be calm. Letting the belly be soft. aware of the breath body, the movement of the body with the breath. Letting that breath be calm. Relaxing the hips, relaxing the seat, relaxing the legs, relaxing the knees, relaxing the ankles, relaxing the feet. Aware of the feeling, aware of sensations anywhere in the body. The sensations from touching, and all the sensations, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, seeing, and thinking. And aware of the feeling arising from those contacts, those sensations. Or just in general, how does it feel right now? Noticing the perceptions based on touching, hearing, smelling, tasting, or thinking. Aware when perception arises. Letting awareness move around from the body, the sensations, the feelings, the perceptions, whatever part is clear to notice. And any fabrication that comes up, wanting or wishing, intending to do something, liking and disliking, not arousing random thoughts on purpose. But if they arise, notice what's going on. Aware of thoughts, aware of perceptions, aware of the feeling, aware of sensations of the body, aware of the body itself. Aware of awareness, aware of the state of mind, and the changing experiences that come to awareness and disappear. Anchored in the body. Keep returning to the body. Noticing sensation, feeling, perception, thoughts, awareness itself. Within this very brief meditation, you might have gotten a little indication of what I'm trying to point to. This is quite a subtle type of practice to be able to see the five khandhas as a window into what is actually happening with the mind, the state of mind. So I believe this is something that can fruitfully be developed even over a longer period of time, even not only in the cushion practice, but then throughout the day, as often as possible, to methodically observe whatever is noticeable as far as what's really happening with the body. The sensations and the feelings arising from that, and then how that affects the fabricating activity of the mind. So I'd like to welcome any thoughts or questions about that, and as well as your report, whether you were able to find this practice useful or not. Okay, Ren.
Thank you, Ayya. At one point, I heard aware of awareness. And at that point, it was kind of middle into our meditation. And I felt as if there's another entity that's awareing of me, awareing of my feeling and my, body station and whatnot. And I wonder if that's what you meant by, I don't remember the name, but you said the awareness itself in different layers. I wonder if that's remote observer sort of thing is part of that awareness, and whether it's an integrated part of the process or just something. But I do have a suspicion that even that is not permanent. So I'm very curious about how you would put that into context.
Yeah. So I think you're onto something. I didn't want to really get into it because it goes more towards philosophy, but there is a way in which if you take consciousness as awareness, the process of being aware tends to cause the fabrication of like a perception of the observer, or that there's a subject-object duality, so that there's a subject which is aware of the object. And then when that split happens, that's like the beginning of the creation of a self. Another definition of vijnana is about the what's called the rebirth consciousness. It's the vijnana, which is leading an individual on from the end of one life into the next life. And that's exactly based on this pattern that consciousness has got this sort of natural tendency to create an impression of a self. It's sort of like there's the whole circus of everything that's happening all around, and then there's something in the middle, which knows all of it. And then just that space in the middle is in a certain way like it's invisible, but one makes it into a self. So, uh, but that process of selfing can become very soft, and it can just become like part of the ever-changing process. As you say, it's impermanent. It's actually selfless. It's just another aspect of the phenomena that awareness is aware of objects.
So is that
Yeah,
that feeling of me observing myself, observing my feeling, that me, that second layer, is equivalent to consciousness in this sense?
it's one of the aspects that's attributed to vijnana or consciousness. Consciousness or vijnana is a Pali word that appears in several different lists, and depending on what part of the teaching it's in, like what's in dependent origination, it has one meaning, and in the five aggregates, it has another meaning. But the meanings are all like sort of interrelated. But in terms of the five aggregates, I think it could be taken just more simply like this. If you're trying to find out what's your state of mind, are you awake or not? In other words, are you aware of what's going on because you're awake? Or are you unaware because you've fallen asleep? Or because you've become like an automaton, just going on automatic without any awareness? So I was kind of suggesting for this meditation, just leaving it simple like that. But it is something that happens, that this leads onwards to seeing how awareness begins to fabricate a self. Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, you're welcome. There's a comment from Chintana. The most informative meditation I have ever experienced has been by you. Oh, thank you. Uh, uh, this, this particular practice with the aggregates is something that has been the a very important part for me individually, because of my suffering when I was a young monastic and before I was a monastic. I suffered a lot with having strong and overwhelming emotions, and I developed this methodical way of observing the five aggregates as a way of finding out how to break up the afflictions associated with strong emotional states. But then since that time, it's like I was doing a lot of kind of original work. I spent 7 years on just developing practice based on five aggregates. And it's sort of for that reason that it's an all-purpose, it's a tool that I'm now able to use for different aspects of the practice. So like this morning, I wanted to point about how to find out what's our state of mind. So state of mind, what does that mean? I mean, it might be obvious to you, but it might be very unclear what it means that the mind is affected by aversion, or the mind is affected by greed, or the mind is without aversion or without greed. But learning to observe methodically, then you can know what your state of mind is. And then if you come to the afternoon sutta study, you can get some suggestions about particular meditations that you might use to address different states of mind that could be happening for you. Do you want to add anything, Chintana?
Good morning. Today's a special day personally because I was born in 62 and today I am 62.
Uh-huh.
And so that's some weird thing. So I'm in, in an interesting state. But as far as commenting on your comment, of course, I'm grasping. I'm trying not to, but is there a path that you have either published through your videos or through written experience that one can follow to get through that emotional turmoil, that chitta that one has? Because I have that as well. I have very strong emotions, and
Right. I do have some talks that have been published, not on YouTube, but in audio files that you can find either on Dharma Seed or on my, you go through our website to the teachers, and then you go to me and you find the file. The title of the retreat that I used to give was called Working with Emotions the Buddha's Way.
okay.
And that's where you could find more about that.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
you're welcome. If I remember, I might send you a link.
I
Okay,
can find it. I've been there, but
okay.
I don't know that I've seen that specific retreat, but I know where to go.
Okay. So let's give respect to the Triple Gem. The Lord, the perfectly enlightened and blessed one, I render homage to the Buddha, the Blessed One. The teachings so completely explained by him, I bow to the Dhamma. The Blessed One's disciples who have practiced well, I bow to the Sangha. Thank you, everyone, for your patient listening and for your practice.
Thank you, Ayya.